Well, thinking the other day about if you'd have to watch my other videos. I'm not going to go through the whole video just to explain what I'm talking about. But when fish are in the globe, the seawater globe that is floating through space, fish and the eggs and plant seeds, they filter the salt through their gills, or they filter the fresh water through their gills, and they hold the salt in their mouth and they spit it at the exterior of this globular sea, this floating sea in space. And uh, that gives it kind of like a globe of invulnerability of salt on the outside of this. Somehow maybe the mixture of their saliva, fish saliva, salt water, fresh water, something. Maybe just having that much salt in their mouth, filtering it, filling the fresh water and holding the salt in their mouth or whatever. Or maybe they make a train of fish and they filter the salt through their gills and they hold the fresh water and keep spitting it out and whatever. Anyway, so somehow they filter the salt out and they make a globe of salt, a salt wall around this ocean, so that when they're swimming around inside, if they was just having fun and swimming, one would one would be chasing another, and it just fly out of the seawater and there's no way, once it goes into space, there's no way for it to swim back to the ocean of water. So they have to make this wall of salt around the globe of sea, and then maybe, I don't know if they do all the salt, because it wouldn't matter, because there wouldn't be any gravity, so it wouldn't, the fresh water and salt water, it wouldn't make them more buoyant, and so they could use the salt, since they're in space, non-gravity. They could use the salt as a wall of keeping them from entering space. Brilliant of a fish to think of building a wall, and yet we don't think of a wall. So, except around the Capitol, everything's to save the freaking. I don't know why they put themselves above everybody else. I mean, they got some sort of college education. It don't make you better. I mean, there's people that do stuff way better than any politician or government official that's sucking high on the hog and making millions of dollars. And there's people down, at level, making little decisions and making little things matter. They might make this or that, or devise something that gets overlooked. Nobody even thinks about it. They might do their whole life making little things that help everybody, and everybody just takes an idea and they do it, and they don't get nothing, but it helps everybody out. People think, well, where'd this come from? Where'd this idea? And they might never find it because the guy's probably working or whatever. I'm going to say guy because I'm a guy, and females can say girl. Who cares? I mean, that's what they do with God, isn't it? Every men claim it's a guy and girls claim it's a girl. Who cares? I think we're all men anyway. So anyway, that's great on fishes because they build a wall of salt around that globular space floating ocean until I don't know how thick it'd be. I don't know how salty. Could be just thick enough so that they bump it with their nose. Like it'd be like an aquarium. It'd be like a big giant floating aquarium with a salt window. Maybe they even make it so good that it's like, maybe that's where glass come from. Is that they're thinking about, they probably still have memories passed down through generations, the trillion generations of fish that have been born, but they pass, they don't have anything else for it. They don't have to remember studies. They don't have to remember anything at their job. All they got to remember is the past events of life, and not necessarily on any planet. They don't have to You know, they don't have to disseminate whether it's on this planet or another planet. It's all together, and then a human comes along, you know, walks by a bunch of fish and gets an idea because it was a fish's idea. Probably went up in a bubble that they had. You know, say, there's a guy. Let's see if he does this, and they blow a thought bubble up. You know, and that's probably where thought bubbles came from, is fish blowing up ideas to people, humans walking by a pond or something, or a river or lake or ocean. Could be a whale blowing a geyser out of its head. Anyway, so fish built walls. And windows. So they've developed windows. They've developed walls. They developed spheres. You know, if you play billiards or snooker or something like that, you can thank a fish.